In today's video, Lowry Manufacturing will be walking you through the direct drive auger assembly step by step.
So when you get your auger off the truck, this is how it'll come to you with the auger inside the tube. We're going to install the foot bearing because it'll be easier to put on now, which will come in this package here. They'll have a little instruction deal here, and then notice that it is offset there, so you got to have, and it'll have an X on it, so it'll go actually like that when you bolt it all together. Your two half pieces go on the bottom for easy assembly, and then this washer will go on top. We'll demonstrate how that all goes together here.
You have to move your flight back a little to install the foot bearing. So on bigger flights, you might want to put a pry bar or something in between here to push it back. Or this one, we can just slide it back.
To get it up in there. So you'll put your pieces there, put your washer onto your shaft there. Now you can actually slide that there. Then you can slide it back in there. Might have to lift up on it just a little to get it in. And then you put the nuts on the bottom here. And as you can see, this is the gap we were talking about here on the plastic from the steel, so make sure you got it that way. And then we're going to show how to adjust this washer. This washer will not be tight when you're fully assembled, but we got to put the rest of the auger together, and then you want to come back and double check this to make sure there's not a lot of pressure on that bearing, or it'll wear your foot bearing out.
So far, so good.
Yeah, so that's that part.
This part.
So this is the way this will get shipped to you also. At this point, depends on how much room you've got to slide your auger in from the very first part that we had put together here. Sometimes if you're in tight tolerances or tight areas, you might have to slide this into your dump pit first at their auger and then connect the flight connection here. But otherwise you can put it all together and then bolt all this together and then slide it all in at once. So the first thing you'll probably want to do is take these off. All these bolts to get at your service panel. These will come tightened on there, so you'll need a impact wrench would be the fastest. So your shorter bolts will go up here and the longer bolts go on your sides. Then you can pull this off. And now we're gonna slide these two together. So with a connecting flight, you gotta make sure this piece here, you want it rotated, because this piece is gonna have to go behind here and then rotate to line these bolt holes up, and we'll show that here.
Far forward.
Yeah. Okay. There we got, there. Now we gotta rotate the flighting this way. And then what we'll do is we'll pull this all the way forward too. Now we'll bolt this together in this here service panel. That'll give us access to put these bolts in here. So now we'll grab the bag of bolts.
2 bolts for the flight connection.
One is gonna go here, one is gonna go here.
The rest of the bolts will go around the rings.
We'll put this flight connection together first. Oh, right there. So you can get it this bolt. Okay. So you got those in. You can put the nuts on them. Then you can tighten these 2 bolts up. And then here's one critical area here that you want to make sure so your flight doesn't prematurely pull apart or anything like that. You got to weld here and weld here to make sure that your flight stays together there with, after you tighten these bolts, then you put your 2 welds on. Then we can connect this ring Once you tighten these up too, you might want to, like, if it isn't completely level, try to get this level before you tighten it up so the tubes line up straight. This does not get welded, it just gets bolted on there.
This ring, this lower tube will get slid into the chamber. Then you'll bolt this piece onto your chamber ring with these bolts. Bolt bag of all your drive head bolts.
So this drive head box comes partially assembled already. So you got your the head shaft in there already, and then that'll slide into here to put the bolts on. Okay, so you pick this up. This you definitely want 2 people.
Oh, it's not gonna be fun.
Down. There you go. There.
Can you, huh?
We got these access points, so we should take this cover off. It'll give you a lot easier access in there. Yep, taking these bolts off. The shaft here on the end you can turn to line up the holes in here.
There we go. There's, no. And get the back. This, you got it?
Yep. This is lock collar on the back here. You'll want to take that loose. So this is like a centrifugal lock collar. So there is a hole on the back side here. You gotta loosen up the set screw here first, and then there's a hole down here, and then go counterclockwise to loosen it up. And then you gotta hit it with a hammer that way to loosen it.
There it goes.
You need a punch to do it.
There
you go. So once that's loose, now you can slide this tight together. Once you get the set collar loose, then you can move this in. So you can angle this drive head box if you want the discharge like that, or like that, depending on the orientation. Sometimes you'll be straight on. It'll just matter where you bolt it up on here.
There we go.
Yep. May need to pick it up.
You'll have 4 bolts going in there, each side, and then the top and bottom. Make sure you're going with the bolts from inside out. You'll have to go inside the drive head box. Then there'll be another one down here.
There we go.
For a total of 8 bolts.
Yep. After you get all this tightened up, come back here and look after you got everything tight. This lock collar will do, but then the one thing that you want to make sure of is go back down and check your foot bearing to make sure that washer is not tight. Once all your bolts are tightened up on all your connections here, before setting the set collar, you go to the other end and check your foot bearing. Might need a pry bar or a punch for this because now everything's all connected. So you'll want about a 1/16 of an inch gap, or so this washer is loose. If this is not loose like this, when you drop it down into your dump pit and it's tight up against your bearing, it's going to prematurely wear out your bearing. It's going to burn into this, and then you're going to have more drag. You'll probably draw more amps on your motors. Just a lot of things just from this being tight would cause issues. Yeah, once that's all done, you got your gap down there, then you can take and tighten this lock collar up. Turn her, it's a centric lock collar, so you slide it on, get it to go on there, and then you turn it clockwise. Then there's a little hole right here. Then you got to do that with a punch to lock it on there, so that way your shaft can't move. And then once you get that locked, then you tighten up your set screw.
Now when you put back your cover plate, there are 2 little punches there and there, and then 1 on this side, 2 on one side on the tube, and then one on the other of the tube. This line, make sure that's lined up so it fits in good.
Might want to even show if you put it in the wrong way, it won't fit very good.
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't want it like this. It might still fit, but it was welded in place with the notches the way they are. So you definitely want your 2 notches lining up with your 2 notches. And your single notch lining up with your single notch. The long bolts. There. Short bolts. Once you get it all slid down into your dump pit, sprockets and your motor on, we don't supply the motors, so that's why we're not demonstrating it, but so your motor would go up there, and then the other sprocket would go there. So, and then this is how you can adjust your motor plate to move it up, to tighten the belts. If you need more tension on them, you can loosen these up and tighten that up to go up or down with this motor plate, whatever you need to get the correct tension on the belts. Yeah, a lot of the stuff comes almost assembled for you. It's just a few minor things to put together and everything should slide together good.
For any additional questions and information, please contact our customer support team.